Hey, child, you know me? It's Funky Dineva, urban pop culture critic, your internet best friend, and all around fabulous. Let me tell y'all something. My skin is soft, supple, paid for, and smelling like a whole love song. Now let's start with high value. Clove, rose, and oud. It smells like when I walk into a room and people stop talking, it's not because they're scared, but because they know I'm that girl. Soft serve. Oh, she's for the soft life girls who don't have to do a thing but be legendary. Amber, jasmine, saffron. It's giving warm towels, slow mornings, Karen White on repeat, rogue dragon on the floor. And Pharaoh's love, baby, vanilla, white lily, and musk that lingers. It's giving brunch at 1, nap at 3, stretching on 1,000 thread count sheets. I don't need a crown, just this souffle and a playlist. And today, I smell like a mood, a memory, a damn good decision. Body souffle, baby, from butter. That's right, guys. The body. Oh, girl, I don't got toothpaste. Oh, Lord. What I got? I can't show up to work looking like this now. Quentin, you was raised a little better than this now. Hold on. That shit all down to the damn shirt. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Y'all got to excuse me. I was raised just a little better than that. I was raised better than that. I can't sit up there for no whole damn show with no nasty shirt on. Good thing I got this old high ass shit from ALO was sitting right there up to the doggone counter. Bam, put it on with this look better. Who ain't got no pieces? Like who? Job said he may not come when you want him, but it's always gonna be a piece on time. Good thing I had a whole bar stool full of pieces from ALO. Somebody said big good. It was looking extra big. Just I was like, damn, it didn't even look that big on the boat. That's all right. I'm back in the gym. Nevertheless, we're gonna have it all going on. So listen, guys, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I went to the gym today and I found out that there was a fundraising gala tonight. When somebody ran down the guest list of people who were going to be there, it just felt like I'm supposed to be in the room. And so I went on ahead and reserved the ticket and decided to put myself in the room. And it's funny about putting myself in the room because being in the room was the whole point of me moving back to Atlanta. And now that I'm going to have the place in Miami and the place in Atlanta, Atlanta feels like a big work field trip. Going home on the weekends feels like a weekend vacation. And I'm beginning to form like a life that's really worth living. Before we jump into the show, you know, there were a lot of people last night when I revealed that I had gotten a second apartment in Miami. They were like, you know, Funky Dineva, I cannot wait to just build a life and just live the way I want to live. And I read that comment and I had to take a step back to just be thankful, because sometimes when you're in it, you don't realize that you're in it. It's just life for you. And so much of what I've been doing has just been life for me. And I took a moment to realize, like, boy, wait a minute now. Like, you really are handcrafting and curating the type of life and manifesting that you want. You are living where you want to live in 2 places. You are driving what you want to drive in 2 places. You got all the types of pieces that you want. And I'm going to tell you guys something, and this is not me dry bragging. This was something that made me cry on the inside when I was at the gym today. One thing that having resources allows you to do is feel however you want to feel in any given moment. And when you guys heard me describe moving back to Miami yesterday, it wasn't a place that I was in search of. It wasn't a thing that I was in search of. It was not a person that I was in search of. It was a feeling. It was a feeling. And it's amazing now to just be able to throw a little money at something and to be able to get the feeling. As I'm beginning to ascend socially and financially, I am learning a lot, right? And I'm learning a lot about the feeling. I used to always say to myself, I would look at the Beverly Hills Housewives and I would be like, why does Lisa Vanderpump live in this big ass house and she has this library that's 3 stories tall and she has this lake and she has this moat and she has all of these different things that quite frankly people don't need, right? And then I'm now starting to realize, yeah, I don't need a moat in my backyard with 6 swans swimming around in it, but it's a feeling that I get when I'm sitting outside at my moat. Yes, I can read a book anywhere I want, but there is a feeling that I get when I'm in a 3 story library that's in my own home. And today was the first day I realized that I've reached a place in my life now where if I feel something or if I want to feel something, that I now get to curate that. And so last night I was laying in bed and I was listening to Hot 105 in Miami. And I said, I don't have to cry no more. I don't have to lay in this bed and cry no more over the nostalgia of not being in Miami and wanting that feeling back, because I've now placed myself in a situation where I get to go home and I get to get that feeling. Like I am so excited about how I'm about to decorate this new apartment and how it's literally all going to be about making it feel the way I want and need to feel every time I go to Miami. And the same with this place. This is going to be home based. This is going to be the cozy, lovey-dovey, smell like apple pie environment. I got it all going on. I got it curated. That's what's going on with me. Anyway, let's just jump right on into some people who are feeling. I see a lot of y'all got y'all butter products, and I've got nothing but positive reviews. Shouts out to all of you guys who trusted me on this and went and got your butter products. The butter souffle, body butter trio by Funky Dineva has it all going on, and people are loving it. Now, speaking of somebody who don't have it going on, it is the Farmers of America. And to think, in our high schools, they had a program called Future Farmers of America. Don't nobody want to be in that shit. Okay, Future Farmers of America in this moment feel like struggle love. But take a listen to how I say to you, racism is expensive. Take a listen.
Nearly 80% of voters in what are called farming-dependent counties voted for President Trump in the last election.
I feel like a lot of American farmers, cattle people, a lot of people probably feel let down currently. Now, maybe there's a method to the madness. That's still to be seen.
Many are now taking their frustrations directly to Republican lawmakers at town halls across the country.
I'm about ready to lose my farm. I am pissed, and I'm pissed at you.
Now he's pissed off, huh? Number one, these farmers voted to be racist and not poor, and now they feel betrayed. Number two, when you smoking white supremacy dope and dog food, you will ignore how Trump's support grew in America's top farming counties despite his first-term trade war messing them over. Number 3, so of course, American farmers was already hurt and still trying to recover from his first term, and then he got in office and he made the trade war worse. Number 4, we warned them farmers throughout the entire election. We talked about Project 2025. We talked about how agriculture is mentioned over 150 times in this Project 2025. Number 5, in Project 2025, farming is mentioned 7 times, ranchers is mentioned 13 times, and majority of proposed changes is mentioned on page 289. Number 6, these headlines writing themselves. Farmers feel betrayed as China dangles millions of tons of soybean purchases over the U.S. to get an edge in an escalating trade war. Number 7, what's that song Francesca Ramsey be singing about the leopards eating the face? What's that song?
So first and foremost, shouts out to my brother Consciously. I love Consciously. I gotta get Consciously on the show. One of my favorite sayings, racism is expensive. Don't that sum it up? Like, racism is expensive. Conscious laid out, he fucked y'all over the first go round and farming didn't go right. And then y'all voted for racism again the second time around and really got screwed. I want to tell you what's going to mess them up. Here's the funny thing. If given the option to vote for him again, they would do it again. Call me gullible, call me naive, call me inexperienced, especially when it comes to the flyover states in middle of America. I think growing up in Miami, matriculating to Atlanta may have blinded me to the fact that, you know, everybody just gets along and we just want the most qualified person for the job, right? I can assure you that given an opportunity to do this same election all over again, they would not vote for Kamala Harris. Them people would vote for a snowman, the boogeyman, or the muffin man that lives on Drury Lane before they was going to vote for a black woman and before they probably vote for a black man. And that's the truth of the matter. If given this same election configuration one more again, they wouldn't do it. Now, maybe if there was another white man candidate for them to choose from, I don't know. But racism is extremely expensive. And now they sitting somewhere with their hand out, waiting on their check or whatever. This is going to sound anti-black. And I'm all right with it. I know that there are some people that are going to be determined to take my words out of context. But I don't necessarily think voting Barack Obama in office was a good thing for us. Okay? Not because he did anything wrong, not because he wasn't qualified, not for any fault of his own. I don't know if the backlash or the white lash that we received and that we are currently experiencing as a result of voting a black man in office for the first time, I don't know if the juice was worth the squeeze. I don't know if while Barack Obama was in office, that the changes that were made and the things that were gained were worth all that we've lost post him being voted in. All right. And that's, again, there's going to be somebody out there. I'm not trying to Amanda Seals, y'all. I'm not trying to do anything like that. I'm not trying to confuse y'all. But when I look at this hand with what we gained with him being in office versus what we're going through now, I just don't see a net profit. None of this was his fault, but as a result of it, we got tiki torches. We got, you know, we got everything that went into the stuff with George Floyd. We ended up getting the Black Lives Matter movement. We ended up getting Trump. We ended up getting all of this type of racism and whatnot. This is, it's just, somebody said this is not retaliation for Trump. This is not, somebody wrote, this is not retaliation for Obama. This is just America. I don't know. Maybe I'm living in a bubble, but it wasn't the America that I lived in up until this point. And again, maybe I lived in a Nickelodeon Disney bubble down in Florida for far too long. But I just don't think it was worth it. I think when we look back over the 8 years and we try to tangibly quantify what we got versus everything that we're going through right now, at least in the short term, it doesn't look like it was worth it. Now, maybe in the long term, it'll be something else. But this is part of the reason why these white folks are so enraged. They were like, because they fundamentally believe that nobody black is ever supposed to be over them or in charge of them. And then if y'all thought and we thought that they was finna turn around and let somebody else black come in and run the country, child, let's move right along, guys, to something a little easier to digest. This damn Hazel E.
You looking at my phone earlier today.
I'm on that.
I'm going through my phone.
I'm on that. I'm on that. The money, baby.
It don't get no more low than Hazel E. It don't get no more low-lifed it and desperate than Hazel E. Let me start out by saying this. Blueface is not a prize to anyone. Okay? Gay, straight, homeboy. Like, you know how you have those homeboys, like the people that hang around Floyd Mayweather, right? And it's like, okay, I'm friends with Floyd. At least that get me in the club. At least that get me in the section. At least that get me on private planes. At least that might get me some residual coochie. There literally is no earthly benefit to being associated with Blueface. And then you run to the internet a few days after the man gets out of prison to stamp your unicorn horse-looking pussy on this man. Like, here is the funny thing. You must have posted that video strictly for Krishan or people who are missing one tooth in the front and can't afford to go to Dr. Heavenly. Because I do not feel that there is a woman alive. I do not feel that there is a woman alive who feels like dating Blueface is aspirational. Hazel E., there is not a woman alive who is envious of you right now or remotely gives a damn that you are with Blueface. Mama, this is not a flex. This is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. It reeks of desperation. It like I can't even say you finna get no money out the deal. Like, what are you? They're laughing at you. Hazel E., everybody is laughing at you. Like, at least if you're going to get on the internet and flaunt a man, let it be a man somebody won't, okay? I know Masika ass is somewhere burying the body and laughing at the body that your ass just collected. What are you doing, Hazel? And here is the unfortunate thing, right? Women, y'all may not agree. With men, how can I word this? When men get with a celebrity woman of just about any status, it elevates him, right? But Hazel, it don't work the same way with women because now that you have been publicly linked to Blueface, any dude that's above Blueface is not even gonna want you. See, the way it works is men holler at women just to be able to say, oh yeah, I had that girl that Reggie Bush had. Oh yeah, I had the girl that Carmelo Anthony had. Oh yeah, I had the girl that Matt Barnes had. You see how that go? There is no world where any straight man is running around bragging, saying, yeah, man, I had the same girl Blueface had. You mean that toothless, retarded bitch? You mean that oddly shaped Mexican bitch that looked like a walking Pop-Tart? Or you mean this horse-looking bitch with this deformed ass face? No nigga gonna want none of y'all. No, there is not a man alive who is sweating Blueface over the type of girls that he's been able to pull. And so now, Hazel E., you've permanently marked yourself as undesirable by most men. Because the only men who are interested in anything that Blueface had are men that are up under him on a lower status. And girl, he's already low down to the sidewalk. The only other place you can go down to that is either to the permafrost or down to the hell, bitch. Okay? Like, Blueface is already on the sidewalk, girl. So that means from this point on, your dating pool ain't nothing but devils, demons, and goblins. Because do you know what's up under the sidewalk? Dirt and hell. Hazel E., you gonna have, and I know you got, listen, I know you is a whole horse, My Little Pony, and I know you got hooves. You gonna have a hard time digging yourself out of this one. I promise y'all, Hazel E. ain't gonna never be able to get no man higher than Blueface. Nobody gonna want you. Nobody that got any decency about theyself is gonna walk around proudly with some girl on their arm that been with Blueface. You see, Krishan has been having a hard time, and it ain't because of that tooth either. And the gag is, A straight man will fuck anything walking, but I bet after this he won't touch you. Baby, don't nobody want what Blueface had. I am telling you. Don't nobody want what don't nobody want you. Don't nobody want Krishan. And don't nobody want that Mexican lady that's shaped like a chicken nugget or a California raisin. Don't nobody want none of that. Quiet as it's kept, baby. These men will go out and get Miss Netta ass before they get you. Well, at least you can leave Netta ass at home and know she gonna cook. Now the food might have roaches and shit in it, but baby, Miss Netta got better chances than you. Don't nobody want no baby. Blueface couldn't even know the last 4 digits of my phone number, yet alone my address or the correct mailing address to my loving in between my legs and in my butt. What you need to know that for? And then why would you sign up to be read by Carlissa? That's the second thing. While I'm on it, this looker just got me thinking I might not even make it to the gala. Don't no reasonable woman in her right mind even want Blueface. Forget the baby mama drama. Let's talk about the biological mama drama. Baby, I promise y'all, if I ever went to the store and saw Carlissa in there, I'd leave my whole buggy. Bitch, I wouldn't even be able to get in my car fast enough. I'd just walk. I just have to come back and get my car later. That is how quickly my ass would be trying to get out of Dodge. Carlissa could have a car. She could have everything in that buggy. As a matter of fact, she could have this store. Or they're going to have to tell me what days she's least likely to appear in this doggone store. That is how much people don't want to be bothered with these people. And you going to go sign up to be in it. Some people love chaos and confusion. It's one thing to be on Love and Hip Hop and have to participate, and it's another to make that shit your life. And Hazel, it looks as if you making that type of drama your life. You got a whole lot going on and you need to find God. And speaking of finding God, we know that there is one, and he was looking over these people because this train operator went to sleep while these people was in the train. Take a look. Now, hold on now, bitch. How is you gonna open up the cockpit door and tell everybody they fine? Relax, relax, relax. No, bitch. Your life finna be shut down, and it's not finna be because of the government. And I don't care nothing about no union or nothing. There's no suspension. You can't come back. You cannot come back. Like, no shade, and I don't want to talk no black woman out no job, but I promise you, you can't come back. There's no suspension. There's no probationary period. I don't want your union rep fighting for you. You can't just go sit in the office on leave until they investigate your position. You have one job specifically. 2 jobs if you want to be petty. You got one job specifically. That's to look out the front window and drive the train. On a most basic level, I don't give a damn if you drive the train at 2,000 miles an hour or if you drive it at 2 miles an hour. Your first job that you was hired specifically to do is look out this big ass window. And baby, they didn't give you no little window like this. They gave you a big ass wonder. Your first order of business was to look out the window and drive the train. And I'm finna give you some grace. You could even drive the bitch at 2,000 miles an hour as long as you looking out the window. Baby, you was down there asleep like this, which means you was not looking at the window. The second order of business that the people have for you to do specifically down to this job is to transport the people safely. Now, I didn't even say transport the people safe as job number one, because that really should be job number one. I gave you a little bit of grace, and I said specifically, look out the window. You ain't looking out the window, sis. You looking down to the steering wheel. And then got the nerve to open up the door and tell them people relax. No, I'm going to tell you who you tell to relax, bitch. Your landlord, when they come bamming on your door because you ain't able to make rent, tell them to relax. I'm going to tell you who you tell number two to relax. The light bill people. Whoever asks Q, are you live? Yes, I'm live. The light bill people, you going to tell they ass to relax. Let me tell y'all something. There is only one way she gonna get out of this for me. The only way she gonna get out of this is if she tells me that as a result of the government shutdown, they have not had any train operators and she's been having to work 18-hour shifts back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Then it's the company fault. But some of y'all on here talking about blood sugar. Bitch, she didn't just become no diabetic when she got the damn job. Bitch, you been diabetic. And if you don't know how to manage your diabetes, and that's going to keep you from specifically looking at the window, then you need to go get a more diabetic-friendly job. You need to collect insurance cards and make photocopies of people ID down to pediatric associates. That way, if you pass out down there from blood sugar, you already got a room full of doctors, nurse practitioners, and nurses that could bring your ass back to life. You can't have blood sugar issues, blood pressure issues, sleep issues when you're supposed to be looking out the window. Y'all so messy. Y'all talking about playing again. This hoe in here sleeping in there. She look at her. Good thing she was an old nasty lesbian, because if she was an old dainty petite piece of fish, she wouldn't have been able to pull that thing. But look at her, driving them people 90 miles past hell on the damn train. Folks could have been crossing the damn tracks. Children could have been getting out of school, and you slamming the people from left to right. And then gonna open the door and tell these people to.
I'm sorry. Relax.
No, bitch. I ain't trying to be mean, but I almost think she need to go to jail. And on top of that, because times is hard, y'all already know they finna get about 30 lawsuits of people who said their head was slammed up against the window and got a concussion. She need to be fired, driving 90 miles past hell. Moving right along. Y'all want to talk about Brenay and Akira. Let's get into it.
That's the sound of a $1.75 million cheer, coming just moments after court was adjourned. Akira Montague embraced her attorney, Robinetta Jones, as dozens of supporters yelled from the sidelines.
She has received justice from losing her husband and the father of her children.
Akira Montague's lawsuit, filed in Durham County Court, accuses Brenay Montague, an influencer with nearly 3 million followers on TikTok, of seducing and having an affair with her then husband, Tim. That affair then turning to marriage when Brenay and Tim wed. In the suit, Akira Montague claimed Brenay used her online influence as a weapon. The affair also caused damage to her health and deprived her kids of a two-parent household.
And it was nothing but lies.
Brenay Montague, who represented herself in court, slammed the verdict, saying Akira Montague knew her marriage was over and allowed the affair.
She gave her consent. She said it was okay because she knew her marriage was over with and it was done.
But the jury didn't agree, awarding Akira Montague the $1.75 million after more than 700 pieces of evidence were presented in court, including some of Brenay's own TikToks and texts.
That says that my client was telling the truth.
The case hinged on two rarely used laws, including alienation of affection.
It can be very hard to prove, and the reason is because it's hard to find a point in a relationship where the relationship necessarily started to go bad.
But in these videos and in the court testimony, the jury found that point, leaving Brenay Montague with a hefty bill and no answer on how she'll pay.
I don't know, but she'll probably never see it.
Now, I had to look up Akira Montague to find out what was going on. Now, this is Akira, and this is Brenay and her husband. Both thick girls, not an issue. First and foremost, 3 million followers does not translate into $3 million. I think that this is a symbolic victory and it's a symbolic gesture because the moment them people said Akira represented herself, the moment them people said Brenay represented herself, that gave, she didn't have no money for no lawyer. And so it's like, don't get me wrong, you got to win on paper. You got to win on paper. And maybe that was all you needed, was just to win on paper. Now, here is the other thing, Akira. You must ain't never been loved right, or that man must got some good ass loving, because there is no world where I would ever go sue another woman over that man. I would not give anybody the satisfaction of thinking I am remotely that bothered or pressed that that man left me for that woman. They say Brenay had lawyers. Her lawyers dropped her. Lord have mercy, Jesus. They say she had 2 lawyers. Both of them dropped her. Lord, they said, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. That dereliction of affection, more people need to sue people for messing with their husbands and messing with each other's wives. But the only thing that gets me is, like, what happens to him? The alienation of affection. So he get to divorce her. He gets to divorce Brenay and just go live his life, and you be stuck trying to collect this money from. Listen, I hope you get the money, but like she said, she not. I hope the lady get the money. I hate that this happened. Somebody been lying to us, y'all, because they say Wendy Williams has been cleared of front temporal dementia following neurological testing. All right, I'm here to tell y'all I am okay with Wendy Williams being sued of frontal temporal dementia following neurological testing. But the byline after the headline needs to be, but this is what she have. Y'all are not finna tell me that the Wendy Williams that we see showing up on the sidewalks of New York and trying her hardest to hold it together during interviews and investigations is the same Wendy Williams that used to sit in that chair and say, "How you doing?" It's not the same person. Sources report TMZ that after a series of tests conducted in New York City, the neurologist concluded Wendy does not have medical condition. Have this medical condition. Her legal team received the results of these tests late last month. The new diagnosis conflicts with earlier tests in which Wendy was informed her guardian that she tested positive by dementia. TMZ reported. All right, listen. If y'all able to tell us what she don't got, then we need y'all to tell us what she do got. All right. If y'all like, if the Sabrina Cersei lady is lying, if the lady is lying and Wendy got something else going on, we need y'all to tell us, because at this point we confused. All right. There's something going on with Wendy Williams, whether we want to admit it or whether we like it or not. Something is wrong with Wendy Williams, and some people know it's wrong, and it just sucks because now money has gotten twisted all up into this. Is it the years of alcohol that done made her? Somebody said if she ain't got frontal temporal dementia, the bitch got side temporal dementia. She got it. Is her alopecia too strong? Something ain't right with the lady, and y'all need to tell us what it is. All right, but they said she don't got that. Now I'm gonna get into this last little story. Oh no. Oh my God, no, it's not the last story. I got quite a few stories after this. I'm sorry. There was, and this is going to make some of y'all mad. There was a young lady who was doing a TikTok social experiment who went around calling churches, asking would any of them donate a can of baby food. And she got a lot of no's from many of the churches. Here are some consolidated responses just to catch you guys up to speed.
Christians and churches are responding after a woman went viral for calling churches asking for baby formula for her starving baby, and most of them turned her down. And what some of them are saying is absolutely wild. One church said what that woman is doing is evil and even compared it to witchcraft. He said this woman is a liar, she is indulging in trickery, she has the spirit of a witch, and if she comes near our church, she will be dealt with swiftly. This church, who also turned her down over the phone, said if a mother in need was at the doors of our church, raise your hand if you would help her. And when a majority of the people raised their hands, he said that's the only social experiment that I need. And this pastor of another church who also turned her down said that we are not obligated to help in a situation like this, and the only reason the mosque did is because they're obligated to by their faith. He said they get hundreds of scam calls and people wanting money, and they can't prove that she's actually in need. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
Quick question. So the white guy says the only reason the mosque said so is because they are obligated by their faith. I just have a question. Why aren't Christians obligated by their faith to say yes? Now, let me break this down because I do live in a real world, right? I live in the real world. Let's just talk logistics, right? Let's just talk logistics really quickly. So it is a random Tuesday or Wednesday. The only person at church is Miss Juanita, who was the church secretary. James might be around there fixing up some stuff. Shirley might be back there in the back taking inventory for how many green beans we got. It's just about 4, 5, 6 church members running the church on any random day. Shirley in there filing receipts. Okay. Ba-da-ding, ba-da-ding. She think that's pastor calling her to see what she want from Chick-fil-A. She answers the phone and it's this woman asking for some baby formula. I'll give the churches credit and say in 2025, it probably was an unusual request because that's just probably not the way people operate these days. People probably don't go around calling churches for things like that, right? So I can see her being taken aback. But considering the fact that I doubt every day when you there doing the church receipts that you rarely get those phone calls, when you said no to the formula, there wasn't, well, what's your name, baby? Come on up here and I got a 25. I might not have no formula, but I got a $25 Visa gift card up here. Or there wasn't a, hold on, let me take your name and number and let somebody from the outreach ministry call you back. Or there wasn't a, hey, let me see if I can have, I don't have any, but let me see if James could run up to the store and get some real quick. Or there was no, well, baby, I don't have no formula, but we do got 2 loaves of bread and some Gatorade up here you can come get. I mean, just to tell her no and leave her hanging is what makes me feel uncomfortable. However, I also live in the real world. I also understand that we also can't have a world where people just randomly call the church, because if it gets out that all you got to do is call this church when you ain't got no baby formula, just like the welfare system, people are going to lean on it and exhaust the hell out of it. So what do you damn do, right? Like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. My issue with it, at a minimum, if you are a church and you are going to turn people away for basic necessities, at a minimum, have a phone number that they can call. At a minimum, have a phone number they can call. Baby, we don't have none, but if you call this number right here, hopefully these people will be able to help you. Number one, be resourceful. I saw another video that I'm not going to play, and it was only because I didn't want to upset y'all, but this white girl crashed out and she said something very valid. She was screaming, and she said, churches don't work because if they did, we wouldn't have homeless and hungry people. I said, God damn it. I said, it's just that simple. She said, churches don't work because if they did, we would not have hungry and homeless people. And I thought about it, and granted, while the church cannot cure all hunger and all homelessness, it can damn sure put a nasty dent in it, bitch. Okay? And especially, do you want to know if it's proof that your church don't work? If you go to one where there's like a corner store that's like 2 or 3 blocks away from it, and there's homeless people out there that's hungry and begging. I mean, that has got to be the simplest litmus test for if churches, if they worked. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna dig into y'all churches that y'all want to get into fraternities and sororities and how they cults and all that type of shit, but quiet as it's kept, the way some of y'all hold on to these churches and religions ain't no damn different, because from the looks of a lot of responses, The only way you can get help from the church is if you belong to that Pacific church. And if you don't belong to that Pacific church and you don't know nobody within the organization, then you can't get nothing. You can't reap none of the benefits. Sounds like a sorority and a fraternity to me. And so somebody said, can she do synagogues next? Why is it always churches? Do temples and do Scientology? Well, I'm glad you said that, my resolution, because they did do that. And here was the outcome of her doing that.
Latest update, mosques, 100%. Buddhist temples, 100%. Christian churches, we're talking denomination. She has called 33 Christian churches. How many have said yes and are willing to help a baby, a 2-month-old in need? 9. What's that percentage? 27%. Everywhere else was 100% yeses, we will help you. What does that say about our country? What does that say about the world? 9 out of 33 churches across the US, pro-life and pro-choice. What does that say about these churches and the people that are there and the people who are giving to these churches and the people who told her no? Methodist, Baptist, Catholic, Christian churches. 9 out of 33 were willing to help.
So for all of y'all saying, did she do temple and synagogue? She did not just call Christian churches. She called mosques. She called all the other places. Here is the thing. And the conversation here doesn't need to be about shaming the church. That's a pointless conversation. The more evolved conversation is, what have we learned from this? And what can the churches implement from an infrastructure perspective that can kind of help when these one-off situations arrive? That's the conversation. The conversation don't need to be one of defensiveness. The conversation don't need to be one of she only called Christian churches. That is not the conversation. The only conversation we need to be having is the fact that churches were caught with their pants down when people called with a real daily need that impacts them. What are you prepared to do? You were a church out there that did not get called, right? But seeing this, what are you prepared to do? Did you send the church secretary to at least go get 4 cases of baby formula just for y'all to have in the back of the church? And this is not for you to stand up in the pulpit and say out loud, if you need baby formula, just ask the church, because then you become a big welfare office. Did the church wake up and say, we collected $4,000 last week? Are we going to go and buy 50 $25 Visa gift cards so when something like this happens, we know what to do? Now, somebody said this particular church failed someone, but this is not representative of all churches. Absolutely. We understand all of that. There were 9 out of the 33 that helped her. But we also understand something called statistics. We also understand something called graphing and trending. We also understand social attitudes and norms. And we also understand that in this same experiment, 100% of the mosque and 100% of the Buddhist temple said yes. So there is something that is fundamentally wrong with the way that those of you guys call yourselves church people and Christians. There's just an infrastructure problem. That's all. And the white man even said the only reason the mosque said yes is because they're obligated to by their faith. And he said that as if that was some bad shit, because it would seem to me that all organizations would be mandated to do it by their faith. But what do I know? I'm just somebody that's church hurt, that ain't stepped into a church to, according to y'all, don't believe in God and all the rest of this stuff. So I'm gonna walk on and mind my heathen rich having two places business or whatever. I don't want to be in the midst of y'all defending y'all bullshit ass church and y'all raggedy ass infrastructures down to them damn churches. Moving right along, something that's more in line with what I like to do, and that's drink. An American Airlines flight attendant has been let go reportedly after being 10 times over the legal alcohol limit after chugging vodka mid-flight to calm down. Y'all don't got y'all ass on that thing and embarrass this lady, Tanya. Give me 5 more minutes. Let me finish the show. United Airlines flight attendant identified as somebody late 56 reportedly admitted to drinking multiple mini bottles of vodka after working a 10-hour flight from San Francisco to London. Authorities say she was 10 times over the legal limit. Her attorney says she resigned and deeply regrets what happened. Mama 56 years old. She resigned, baby, so she could get them damn benefits. It's United, not American. My bad. Mama resigned before they could fire her ass so she could get what little of them damn benefits left that she was going to be able to get. Come on, somebody. I ain't mad with her, but this is like the 17th time I have heard of somebody losing their job at the airport over the mini bottles. I know so many flight attendants who've either gotten fired, let go, or reprimanded for stealing them people liquor. I'm here to tell y'all is flight attendants with good jobs. Liquor ain't that expensive. Liquor ain't that expensive for y'all to be taking it. Like, they really need to do a study of the human brain and what people will do just because something is free or whatever. Bitch, you better do like I did when I went over here to where I just came back from, Dominican Republic. You better go over there and get all the mental drugs you could get without a prescription. I sure did go over there. Bitch, I got me an old nasty 50 pack of Sudoxil. Okay, let me tell y'all what my best friends are. Valium is one of my best friends in the whole world. What's the other one I like to take? Xanax. I love Xanax down to the ground. It's Sudoxil. I think I'm saying it right. I love her. She calms you down, and that way you ain't got to be all in the people liquor. And last but not least, guys, let's get into this other story. Anthony Mackie is back in the news because he once again was not being very friendly to fans. Take a look. So for you guys that don't understand, I'm gonna play it again. White gentleman walks over to Anthony Mackie, who's looking into his phone or doing whatever it is he's doing. He touches Anthony Mackie on the back. Anthony Mackie is not rude to him, but he doesn't give him this big warm reception that the man was probably looking for. Take a look one more time. The issue is twofold. Okay? Take my time and I'm a stretch. It's a twofold issue. I'm trying to think what's the easiest way for me to target this. The easiest way for me to target this is saying this. I don't even have Anthony Mackie notoriety, and I don't have Anthony Mackie money. but I have more than most. And I have a higher public profile than the average person. I think that's a fair statement. And y'all hear me say this all the time. We live very privileged lives, okay? We live extremely privileged lives. There is a cost that comes along with that privilege. There's a cost. And that cost, more times than not, shows up by way of people wanting some of your attention when you are in public. Okay? And that's a fair statement. It's a cost. Now, Anthony Mackie is just one of those people who ain't willing to pay it. I pay the cost. You guys have never heard any stories of anybody saying, I'm rude. When people come up to me in public, I have built in ways to get them out of my face if they're doing too much. Okay? I have built in ways. One of the biggest ways I get people out of my face, especially if I'm in a rush, I say, would you like, I say, where your phone at? Girl, let's take a picture. Because normally that is all people want. And once they get that picture, they go on about their business. Okay? So I have learned over time. Now, that's that. Second thing, there's a psychology. There is a psychology that when a person runs into a celebrity, they're overjoyed because they probably can't believe that they're seeing that person, and they probably believe that they'll never see that person again. So now is their moment to get whatever they want to get out of the person, okay? And so that is part of the excitement. That's part of the excitement of it all. I'm going to be very honest with y'all, and all of my friends can tell y'all, when I'm not in the mood to remotely deal with people coming up to me, I go somewhere where I know people not going to come up to me. All right? Now, what Anthony Mackie attempts to do defies conventional thinking. Anthony Mackie wants to make blockbuster movies, secure the income that comes along with blockbuster movies, live the life that said income provides, but then wants to show up in the world like Vice Principal Williams that works at the local high school. And I think that that is low-key where Anthony Mackie goes wrong sometime. Now, let's be clear here. That man is not wrong in any capacity. At the very end of the day, if he don't want to talk to nobody, he ain't got to talk to nobody. If he don't want to greet you, he ain't got to greet you. And if he wants to be left alone, he should be left alone. But it would be nice if Anthony was open to having a bit more of a welcoming spirit when fans come up, especially considering how big of a celebrity he is. Like, you're Captain America, Anthony Mackie. You can't go to a sports bar, not behind any rope, not without any security, and just want to do. I make movies, that's just my job. But for the rest of the days, I'm just a regular ass person. Act like you don't know me. Yeah, Anthony, it don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And I was somebody who struggled with this, and I finally had to give in to it. If it wasn't for the fans, we would not live the lives that we have to live. Now, there are rules. There are rules. Y'all do not approach people when they with their family. Do not approach people when they're with their children. Do not approach people while they are eating. Do not approach people while they are shopping and dealing with a business associate. Do not approach people while they are on the telephone. And honestly, don't approach people if they look like they don't want to damn be bothered. If they in public and they jovial and they talking, that's a different situation. If they just sitting at a bar kind of like this, their energy is kind of given, don't bother me, then don't bother them. But I will say, and especially don't touch somebody, even though the touch was harmless and a lot of fans go too far. Because here is the other thing that some of y'all don't understand. A lot of times too, when in a public space, when one person blows up the spot, it creates a chain reaction. When I went to the Huntsville homecoming, I was standing in the ticket line and this girl started screaming, "Oh my God, fucking out here." She ran over to me, made a big scene. Then everybody turned around and started watching. And I leaned over to her and I said, "Please don't blow up the spot right now." You know what I'm saying? Then when she pulled out the phone, then here come everybody else wanting to do the phone. And I'm straight up, I did them like this. I was like, "Y'all, come on. And I said it out loud. I said, hurry up, because I'm not trying to be standing over here taking pictures all night." You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you just gotta feel folks out when it's time to be doing all of that. When folks sitting somewhere looking like they don't want to be bothered, leave them the hell alone. Nevertheless, child, everybody should know, or what Anthony Mackie should honestly do, is just have them put 2 sentences at the top of the show that says, if you see me in public, leave me the hell alone and don't bother me. Anyway, that's the camera cutting out, and I'm real late for getting dressed for the gala. I got to get off the line. Bye.